So the Super Mario Bros. Wonder Nintendo Direct just wrapped up, and we have a ton of huge news to discuss. It is a game that truly looks better and better the more information we receive. There is some very positive things from this event. There's one somewhat of a negative spot we have to discuss, and a special edition Nintendo OLED that, quite honestly, calling it what it is the most lazy special edition OLED we've seen so far. But I am hyped for this game. This was a very good presentation overall. We now know there are 7 different areas to traverse in Super Mario Bros. Wonder. We had that traditional opening cinematic cutscene where it's a 2D Mario game when it comes to story. Bowser got his hands on a Wonder Flower. It completely alters the world, and obviously Mario and friends have to go on an adventure to undo everything that Bowser messed up. But the style and creativity in this game is second to none in my opinion. We found out that you can play with Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Yellow Toad, Blue Toad, Toadette, Yoshi, Red Yoshi, Yellow Yoshi, Light Blue Yoshi, and Nabbit. And the thing with the Yoshi characters and Nabbit is they are essentially the easy mode for the game, which I am a very big fan of seeing, because I believe this means that the Mario team will not hold back on difficulty in later levels, because you have a simple character. If you are somebody who is younger or newer to 2D Mario platforming games, you can still die with those characters by falling off the stage, but you will not take damage from enemies. However, you also will not be able to use any of the transformational power-ups that we saw, which, by the way, we now have multiple new power-ups that we did not see before. We got a full explanation of Elephant Mario, which is exactly what you would expect. It's an elephant version where you can run through blocks. You can use your trunk to completely decimate enemies in front of you. You can even take up water in your trunk and spray it out. You can dash across large gaps that you would normally fall through as Elephant Mario. And by the way, every character does have an elephant form. So yeah, Elephant Peach is a thing, and we saw her multiple times within this presentation. Bubble Mario is a really cool power-up that I think is limitless in terms of what you can do. It's really cool to see that Mario can blow these bubbles, but then use them as platforms to get to areas that he otherwise could not have gotten to. I am sure that there is going to be some very secretive stuff within this game where you have to go out of your way to find the various collectibles, as well as Wonder Flowers and seeds, which we will discuss in just a moment. But with the bubbles, you can capture and defeat enemies. The bubbles will go through walls. It seems as if they naturally drift towards enemies, and also the bubbles go through walls. So another solid power-up in Mario's arsenal. And we have the drill power-up, which is exactly what it sounds like. You can drill up or down, but the burrow feature is what really stands out here, because you can actually go underground, whether it be on the bottom of the stage or the ceiling, and bypass enemies or bypass certain sections that look very hard. It looks like you can just pretty much drill through anything, and also not have to worry about enemies like Spinies that may fall down on you from the ceiling. And I'm personally a fan of all the power-ups that we saw featured here. Granted, we don't know if there may be more that were not featured in this direct presentation, but even if this is it, it does seem like the creativity in this game certainly did carry over to Mario's abilities as well. Now, the badge system in this game is something I was very excited to see when it was focused on, because it actually adds an element of strategy to a otherwise pretty simplistic and straightforward 2D platformer, where before you go into a stage, you can select one badge to equip, all of which have different abilities that will make your character interact with the stage differently, such as the wall climb jump badge, where you can actually jump on walls better. It looks like you kind of stick to the wall at the top, and you can get yourself up to an area that you otherwise wouldn't have been able to. You have a dolphin kick badge where you can swim much faster underwater. The grappling vine looks insane, because that just straight up makes Mario like a version of Spider-Man, where you can kind of grapple to your targeted platform and do some insane stuff platforming wise in this game. And I personally love to see this, because besides the ones they focused on, it looks like there's a ton of different ways to unlock badges, some of which have their own special stages that you actually have to go and complete. And I believe they said that they could be purchased at the shops as well. So there's various different ways to unlock different abilities, and if you're stuck on one particular level because it gets super hard at the end, you could use your easy redemption jump badge, where it looks like you could fall into lava and immediately recover and not take damage. There's all types of different strategy that will go into how you play the game, and I absolutely love to see that. Now, we knew this entire time that local co-op play was supported, and of course it got a section of the Direct where, yes, you can play through this entire game locally on the Nintendo Switch with up to 4 players and progress through the game in story mode as you would expect. Then we saw the online play portion, and this is the one negative for some people out there, and myself included, because I definitely think traditional online co-op play should be a feature here. It is not. However, in true Nintendo fashion, they decided to do everything else online besides just traditional co-op play. So there are things like friend races where you can actually create a room and join together with the friends that you have on your friends list, but you will be racing through a stage against them, not progressing through the story in a traditional sense. It sounds like you can also play stages together, but they are their own ghost figure and not directly interacting with you in your world like they would if they were sitting next to you and you guys were playing on the same Nintendo Switch together. Now, one interesting thing, if you're not playing with friends, there is an ability to go online and essentially just see ghost characters, essentially Dark Souls style, where you're not interacting directly with them, but you can see them in the world. And then there are these things called standees that you can leave down for other players to essentially get back right after a tough jump or something. If it's right before where a lot of people die, you can go back to that standee and help people out. And there's a heart system where the more cooperative you are with players online, and if you do things like hitting the flagpole at the same time, you're going to get more hearts, and you can help them by giving or receiving items. So it's all based around online co-op, but there's no traditional co-op play when it comes to progressing through the game. I found that very interesting to decide to include online rooms and not just simply allow you to play this thing start to finish with friends. But this is Nintendo we're talking about. This is one of the stranger decisions they made with the game. If you're somebody who wasn't planning on using online co-op play to begin with, this probably doesn't affect you, but I would have liked to see it in this game in 2023. And we have something very close to online play, but not just the actual thing itself. So that was the one sour point in this entire presentation. Everything else, quite honestly, looks fantastic. There are certain areas where Mario can go out of order in stages and kind of play whichever you want in any order, which I love to see that flexibility. The Wonder Flowers look incredible. It's truly Mario on psychedelics whenever you get a Wonder Flower, and then everything, chaos basically breaks loose in the stage. It might fill up with bubbles. You might turn into that spiky ball. You might literally have a perspective shift and actually have a different camera angle as you're traversing through the game, which looks insane. Or you might be floating through space. And the idea is you do see that counter whenever you do get a Wonder Flower, and that is how long it will last. But I believe you are trying to find the Wonder Seed within that time frame, and once you acquire the Wonder Seed, the level then goes back to normal. And if you looked around on the map, you can see that many different levels have multiple Wonder Seeds that you have to capture within them. Some of them only have one, others have two. I don't know if I saw any with three, but this is going to be really good for completionists and people who want to play this game to 100%. And when you talk about creativity and taking 2D Mario to the next level, this is definitely it in my opinion. Now, lastly, we got the announcement of a Nintendo Switch OLED Super Mario Red Edition, which, again, as I said in the beginning of the video, it's just the laziest special edition we've seen Nintendo do so far. It's actually not being sold at the $10 markup, so I do think that this is going to be targeting a different audience than collectors this time around. If you are a hardcore collector, you might want to pick this one up, but if not, this is likely targeted at people who are walking in during the holiday season. They see the brand new Mario game, they see a Nintendo Switch that looks Mario Red, and they're going to pick up both together. It does not come with the game, but at the $350 retail price, there will be a lot of people picking up this one instead of the standard edition OLED, where it's just red Joy-Cons, red dock, and some coins and a very small Mario logo on the back. It doesn't appear that the back of the OLED is customized at all. So again, calling this what it is, it's the laziest special edition OLED we've seen so far, but if you're pumped for it, that's great. I personally walked away from this 15-minute presentation very satisfied. I am more pumped for this game than ever. I think Nintendo did a great job showing it off. Outside of the one bad news point with no traditional online co-op play, I am very satisfied with everything Nintendo put out here, and I personally cannot wait for October 20th to pick up this game myself. But I want to hear from you guys at this point in the video, your personal thoughts and opinions around Super Mario Bros. Wonder and the Direct today. Are you walking away from this event more hyped than you were before? Are you frustrated with things like lack of traditional online co-op play? What do you think of the Wonder Seed sections where you are going through these crazy psychedelic trips as Mario? Are you excited to get through and collect all of those Wonder Seeds, or are you going to skip stuff like that? And what do you think about the various character lineup and having easy characters? Do you think this game is going to pack a punch in the difficulty department? And do you want it to personally? So regardless of your thoughts and feelings on everything we talked about today, I do look forward to hearing from you all in the comments down below before we leave the video, as I do look forward to getting a back and forth conversation started with you all around this topic. Go watch yesterday's video next if you haven't already, which is on screen right now. Also, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.